everyone, this is Benedek here. Very welcome to my channel. In this video we will be discussing about switch statements and switch expressions in C#. Well, first of all, I have to say that switch statements are relatively old. They are with us for many decades, but switch expressions are actually relatively new in C#. Okay, let's check the difference between them. First, examine the switch statements. Okay, switch statements are used to perform different actions based on a specific condition. So it is like a router, or let's imagine a railway switch. So switch statements let us define separate actions or code blocks to execute based on conditions, while the switch expressions are for evaluating a single expression from a list of candidate expressions based on a pattern match with an input expression. So it is for kind of value, variable or value assignment rather than deciding on which code path to execute. So switch expressions are not about to decide which code block to execute, but about to decide which value a variable should take based on a condition. Okay, let's check it in code. Okay, here we are in Visual Studio, and I've created an empty new project for the switch lesson. Okay, so I'm gonna create two methods to demonstrate the switch expressions and the switch statements. Okay, so first I'm going to demonstrate the switch statements to you. So I'm going to create a public static void method called greet user based on name with switch statement. I know it's a horrible name, but at least it's kind of descriptive, and it will take in a string parameter called name, and this method, in this method we will use this name parameter, this input parameter, as the input of the switch statement. So here I pass in the name to the switch statement, and I create it, and switch statement requires us to create cases, so you will see it just in a minute. So let's say case Bob, I will say hello and the name, like that. So what it means, basically, it checks the value of the name parameter, and in case the name parameter is Bob, then this code block will execute. But in other case, if let's say in case the name is Greg, then another code path should execute. Let's say to Greg we would like to say nice to see you again, and we will pass in the name, of course. Alright, and we have to break out of these so that for example, if the name is Bob, we would like to only show it only this code to you or to the user, but if we wouldn't put in the break, then it would go down below, and this would also execute, and that's not the expected behavior. So that's why we need to put in the break keyword there. So let's define some other cases. Let's say right here. Okay. All right, and let's do one more stuff. Actually, what if the name is anything else? So something which we couldn't, you know, imagine. there is a reserved keyword for that called default. So you can specify a default case, so a code block to execute in case the name is not matching with any of the defined cases defined by us. So let's say like good morning to them. It's a kind of formal greeting to them. All right, and we have to put in a break just to be syntactically okay as well. And as you can see, this is how we can create a switch statement, and let's just test it real quick. So I will write to the user on the screen that please give me your name, and here I will show you how to get user input. So username would be console readline, and here I will call this method with the username as an input parameter, and this way we can test it. So if I press F5 it will run. Alright, please give me your name, and I will say Bob, and it says good morning Bob, as you can see. Alright, why? Because it should say hello. No, because so that it is case sensitive, meaning that the first letter should have been written with big B. So let's try it again, and as you can see now it goes to this code path. Alright, now let's check how to create the similar or exactly the same behavior with using switch expressions, and after that I will show you the difference between those as well. Okay, create another method, a public static void, and let's say greet user based on name with switch expressions. Sorry for the long name, but at least it is descriptive as I have mentioned. Okay, so in this case I would like to have a variable for the greeting text, and it would be a string variable like greeting text, and I would like to assign one single value to this variable based on the name. How can I do it? Of course I could have so I can use a simple switch statement, but switch expressions are better for it. So I can decide on the name. So I will show you how to do that. You have to say the name, and you can use the switch reserved keyword for that, and here you can specify the cases. So if the name is Bob, then the greeting text value would be hello. Okay, and if it's let's say Greg, then it will be nice to see you again. Okay, and if it's, let's say, Anna, then let's say hi dear. Okay, and of course we can have a default case here as well, though we cannot use the default keyword, but we use an underscore for the default case here, so like that. And I will say good morning, just like I did previously. Okay, so here we go. We created and assigned a value to this greeting text variable based on the name input parameter using switch expressions. So to make it a little bit interactive, we can console log it, and we log the greeting text first and then the name, and this way we can test it. And of course I will replace the calling of the switch statement method to the calling of the switch expressions method, and now I am going to run it. Okay, let's say test it with on, and as you can see it's working as expected. And if let's say test it with Greg. Nice to see you, Greg. So it is working just like I was expecting it. Now you may ask why there are two things for the same purpose. Actually, they can be used for different cases as well, and I'm going to show that right now. So while switch expressions are used to assign a single value based on a single input expression to a variable, switch statements can be used to define which code blocks to execute, meaning that here I only did one thing, but I could have done many things in case Bob comes in, for example. So let's say today is, and I will tell Bob which day of the week today it is. Let's say date time now, and let's say day of the week, right? So you can do many lines of code, not just writing out anything to the screen, but of course many more advanced stuff here. So the idea is that you know, here we decide on which code block many lines of code to execute, and here with switch expressions we only decide on which single value a variable should take. So that is the difference. So I am going to use switch statements method again to demonstrate it, and I will call it with Bob. And as you can see, hello Bob, and today is Sunday. So we can you know, add extra operations and code lines to execute based on the condition if we are using switch statements. Alright, that was it guys for today. I hope you liked it. If so, please give me a thumbs up, share with friends and comment, and please don't forget to subscribe. Have an absolutely wonderful day wherever you are, and be safe out there. Bye.